Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn about different modes of data transfer. So when we want to transfer a data from input or the output device to the memory or from memory to IO devices, at that time there are different types of modes for the data transfer is available. And we know that we cannot directly send the data from IO device to the memory or memory to IO device. We need one interface which is called input output interface. And because the speed of the CPU and the IO device is very different, and in our previous lecture we have seen that the difference between CPU and the peripheral device. So that is why we'll use the input output interface to communicate IO device or the processor. So that is why the different types of mode is defined, and the data transfer to and from the peripheral may be done in any of the three possible way. First is a programmed IO, second is a interrupt initiated IO, and the third one is the direct memory access, DMA. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about programmed IO. So let's start. So in the programmed IO method, the IO device does not have a direct access to memory. So an example of data transfer from an IO device through an interface into the CPU is shown in this figure. Now let's assume, suppose we all know that the IO device is the keyboard, printer, monitor, mouse, etc. Let's assume the keyboard and the data transfer between keyboard to memory. So when we provide data with the help of keyboard, that is stored in the memory with the help of CPU. Suppose let's consider the monitor. So the data of memory will be transferred to the monitor with the help of CPU. Yes. So here the program IO is the method will transfer the data from IO device to the memory. Yes. So here in this figure, this is the one CPU, this is a IO device, it can be anything, keyboard, monitor, etc. So this is a input output interface in between the CPU and IO. Now we already know that there is a three types of bus, which is a address bus, data bus, and the control bus. Yes. Now let's understand that if IO device sends some data to the CPU, so at that time the data will be transferred to the IO bus, and after some time the IO device sends the data valid signal to the CPU. So this is first transfer to the IO interface. Now in the IO interface there is mainly two components, which is a data register and the status register. So in the data register, the data that is getting from the IO bus will be stored. So in the status register there is one F, which is a flag bit, and the value of the flag bit will be 0 or 1. So if the value of flag bit is equals to 1, it means there is a data into the data register. So it shows that IO device sends some data via the bus. But if the value of flag bit is equals to 0, it means there is no data in the data register. Okay, so these are the two main components in the interface. So now suppose IO device sends some data with the help of keyboard, so that is transferred on the data bus. Now this data bus will transfer the data to the data register, so it is stored onto the data register. After some time the data valid signal will be received by the input output interface. So now IO interface make sure that the data is a valid data. So now this flag bit of the status register is equals to 1 after getting the data valid signal. So now the value of flag register is equals to 1. So when the value of the flag register become 1, at that time the IO interface sends the data accepted signal to the IO device. So it is something like a acknowledgement that will receive the data that you send. So for that, the acknowledgement signal, which is a data accepted signal, is sent to the IO device. Now let's understand the CPU side signals. So after receiving the data from the IO device, the data will be stored onto the data register. Now with the help of data bus, the data of the data register will be transferred to the CPU. Now we all know that every IO device will be accessed with the help of address. So this address from CPU will be transferred to the address bus, and that is given to the interface. Now CPU can perform two operations, which is IO operation, IO read operation, and the IO write operation. So here with the help of keyboard some data is received, that data is stored onto the data register. Now the data of the data register is transferred via the data bus and stored onto the computer's memory. After that, this data is requested to display on the output device. So at that time, the CPU fetch the address of the bus and then perform the read operation, get the data, and that is stored onto the data register with the help of data bus. And now the data of the data register will be transferred to the output bus, and this data is displayed on the IO device. So this is how the data transfer between memory to input output device is done. So now this is the flowchart diagram. Now the first is read the status register. Here this is the status register. So first step is to read the status register. Now in that status register, first we need to check is the flag bit. If the value of the flag bit is equals to 1, at that time there is some data into the data register, so the read operation will perform. So read the data register. Now CPU performs the reading of the data from the data register. Now the next step is, after reading the data will be transferred to the memory. Now the next step is operation complete step. Now CPU check if the operation is completed or not. If the operation is complete, then continue with the program. But if the operation is not complete, at that time the program pointer will be transferred to the again read the status register, and this cycle will be continued. But here if the value of the flag bit is equals to 0, it means there is no data into the data register. Here in the data register is empty. At that time the value of the flag bit is 0. So at that time the control is again transferred to the here read the status register. But the problem here is, suppose the first time data is not there in the register, so again read the status register, check the flag bit. If again the flag bit is equals to 0, then it again read the status register. In this cycle will be go into the infinite state. So if there is no data into the data register, at that time CPU does not do any other work and go into the infinite loop. So that is the disadvantage of the programmed IO data transfer, and this is required with the help of other data transfer mode. So now this is all about the programmed IO data transfer mode. That's it. Thank you so much.